Look, man, I'm serious, okay? I saw this with my own eyes.
Oh, I believe.
A fat American eats a huge fat burger while driving. This Japanese fumble for American stereotypes.
Well, it was last Friday night. I was walking home from the bar, and this woman started coming towards me. She was staggering, you know, so I figured she was drunk.
Whoa. Okay, tell us, be honest now. How many drinks did you have?
Zombies are already swarming all over Raccoon City and its environments, but on the radio a resident of this city still talks about them as if he sees him for the first time, and he did it last Friday. That is, a decent amount of time should have passed since then, and so far he has not noticed anything suspicious in city at all.
Come on. Just getting good. I need some sleep.
It's certainly not as dumb as the cause of the crash it was a Snyder cut, but still pretty dumb. Yes, and if at such speed such truck hits a person, then porridge smelled at the radiator will remain for him, and after that this person certainly should not have stood up in perfect condition and poked in the direction of this man.
No one's around. That's weird.
At night outside the city at lonely gas station there is no one on the street. Really strange.
Officer, you need help?
Stay back, sir. I got this.
And this would not have happened if this slow-witted man, in addition to holding this peasant against the wall, tried at least to pull handcuffs on him, well, or knock him out since he is resisting. What was he waiting for? Since when did a bullet to the head only kill zombies out of 10? I understand before they did this because it was impossible to aim with isometric camera, so he shot at the head automatically. But why then? What kind of brains are they so powerful that they can withstand so many hits? Moreover, in cutscenes, if someone shoot them in the head, then only one hit is enough. Leon does not yet know he was locked up here, but anyway, for some reason he decided to take this random key.
Hey, what are you doing?
Yes, what is he doing? Or rather, why is he doing so late? And why did he let Leon in there if he was going to close the door anyway? How convenient that this long scenes of unlocking the locks, the enemy in the background freezes and waits up until I lock the door to the end. When Leon pulled up to this gas station just a minute ago, there was not single zombie in sight anywhere. Where did they all come from? How convenient that this policeman didn't give a shit about his work car so much that he not only left the doors open, but also left the keys in ignition.
Claire Redfield.
Live around here?
No. Looking for my brother. He's a cop too.
And why is she looking for him, both the original and here, we won't bother to explain us. And here you should have used the music from the work of which you stole this intro. Of course, this will be a very fucked up nitpick, but how well the electricity turned out in the city just so the name of the game came out of it. When such an epidemic occurs, it is advisable to close the city for entry and exit from it.
What if we're the only ones? What if there's no survivors?
No, there's survivors.
You can very easily find out by the walkie-talkie that police cars are equipped with, and clarify whether it is worth going to the station at all, better to fuck away.
Looks like we're walking from here.
More like running.
Well, or you can reserve and try to go around on different road. Yeah, that is, this fat man, after being beaten, was able to fight off the zombie, climb into the truck without trying to call the police or ambulance, and drove a full speed half-dead right along the road. And seeing in the distance a dead end, did not even think to start pressing the brakes. How valuable is this cargo in his back if he's so desperate to get it out as soon as possible? This explosion, accompanied by a fly, should have somehow harmed Leon.
Go on ahead! I'll meet you at the station!
We agree with Claire that we would meet her at the station, and therefore the most logical thing in this situation would be close the gate on the hack so that Claire had to look at forward. Leon for some reason does not know how to repel zombies from himself in this way, and therefore without a knife and a grenade they will bite us anyway. He won't even resist at all. And why instead of a knife or a grenade can you use a pistol in some way? Yes, and Leon and Claire apparently have some kind of immunity to the zombie virus, since after hundreds of bites they don't turn into anyone. one. A tribute to expect, but you have pretty normal checkpoints. Why do we need these machines, which now don't even require ink to save? And why do police stations and laboratories where there are quite few computers need typewriters? Okay, still there, in the sewers, why the hell are they for? They solved this garbage with duct tape, repeat again. Take it with your hands, asshole! Leon doesn't know how to knock down doors either. From this crawling on the bloody floor, his clothes did not get dirty at all. In order to open the passage to the sewers, you need to take 3 medallions and insert them into the holes. They tried to explain such bizarre locks by the fact that this building was once a museum. And have you ever been to a museum with similar system of locks? What's wrong with a regular key or password lock? And how convenient was it for each employee to endlessly run after all of these medallions just to go through the door? And of course the darkness. It's a dark place in which you can see anything, and because of which for a couple of moments I had normally looked down like that before I saw the walkthrough on YouTube, that it turns out that there was a passage in the dark that I didn't see in any way because of its darkness. Fucking horrors. Why doesn't he bite him? Leon put on armor which will not affect his health at all.
Yeah, well, I was supposed to start last week and I got a call to stay away. I wish I'd come here sooner.
Yes, after all, one single newcomer who just become a policeman would be very helpful in this situation. By the way, this little Leon copes with all these zombies much better than older and more experienced uncles. And Claire has probably never held a weapon in her hands.
That officer you met earlier, Elliot. He thought this secret passageway might do the trick.
Thank you for pouring your bloody hands at the only clue that will help us to get this place. So stop, what the hell do you need in front of the door? What prevents you from leaving through in the same way as I entered through it not so long ago?
This is good news. We can get you to a hospital.
No, I am not the priority here.
Why? What's so special about Leon's life compared to yours? We don't have to kiss here right now, so I can open some lockers yet. But now what prevents Leon from pulling out any other key and inserting the one that he needs at the moment? We took one enlarged magazine, and in the future each clip we'll find out will be simple in range. According to the reload animation, something is not noticeable, that he sticks our bullet from a small magazine and pulls them into a large clip. In police stations apparently there are also bullies who stuff their colleagues in lockers. And if he got there himself, then why?
Leon, it's Marvin. I need you back here ASAP.
Are you okay, Marvin?
I've got something to show you. It's important.
So important that in no case will I be able to tell you this is the radio. I realized from the cabinet puzzle that Leon can jump, and even at such distance. Seriously, you don't even need to jump here, you can just step over the space.
Yeah, name's Claire. I came into town with her.
You can get to that courtyard. Through the second floor. East side.
Or through the front doors, fuck your mother, why did you all forget its existence? Yes, and it won't be long before we get to Claire. And all this long time she will stand still and wait for us to approach her, and for all this considerable time not a single zombie will approach her. And what would have happened if Leon or that cop hadn't accidentally spotted her on cameras? Would she stand there all night and wait?
It's so nice to see you.
How are you doing? That helicopter just came out of nowhere.
I'm in one piece.
You found a really fucking awesome time to have a nice chat. Maybe, I don't know, let her in first and then talk. Here, by the way, is a good device for opening these gates. If you were distracted even for a second from Claire, then maybe you could let her in. All these hip bags that we will put on will not be displayed in any way on Leon's appearance. At this time, Claire should have opened this gate and go inside, after which she did not close it back. So the zombies have learned to use the keys. And Claire already picked up these explosives and blew it in passage. As I understand it, the developers everywhere scored a decons connection between both campaigns. What the point of doing scenario A and scenario B at all if most of the time they contracted each other? They would just leave two campaigns unrelated to each other, as was the case in first part, if you were so sunk, unlike the people who worked on the original 20 years ago. Fuck, even Ungodly 6 Resident copied better than Task. Well, you don't die from a pistol shot from the hit, but this is fucking shotgun. You shouldn't have had after the first shot. How are you still standing on your feet? By the way, I never understood why a creature whose brain was died out needs to be shot in order to kill it. Like, brains is already dead, wouldn't be more logical to shoot in the heart? Well, okay, this is not for this game, but in general, I will not put a scene, so be it. Instead of solving this riddle for a long time, which by the way Claire was already solved and took the stone or vice versa, well, it doesn't matter. Instead he could simply slash his hand with a shotgun, for example, and immediately picked up the skipper, significantly reducing the time he was in the station. Modern zombies are able to grab the main character even standing with the back to him. Why close the key from the keyboard in the safe?
It's too late. I tried, Leon. But I couldn't stop it. We can't let this thing spread.
So the infection has already spread, as it were. Hundreds of dead people are already walking at the gas station outside Bay City. Good luck preventing this. This door for some reason decided to close clearly when I went inside, despite the fact that I didn't press anything anywhere to close it. About the bosses, by the way. In the original 98 year, Leon and Claire each had one unique bosses, so as not to contract each other. Leon has this dude, I forgot his name, and Claire has a tyrant. Right there, we as both companies fuck with both of these bosses, and who actually killed who, I don't know. For Claire, this ladder was lowered by Sherry, and for Leon...
Hello, moral.
Get off of me!
Saved at the very last moment cliché. Also, Ada has entered this isolating cell, she would not be anywhere inside at all. Why didn't Irons take your key card to the police parking lot when he put you behind the bars? And who are you anyway that you have this pass? If you are not the main character and you are in a horror movie, walking up to the wall would be a very bad idea. Who put the pot of grass in the cremation chamber? In the ass of this small creature in which you aim at hell and hit by the hell. No matter how strong this monster are, they will not be able to defeat the main opponent. Unclosed door that open with normal touch. I'm sorry, I fucked up. Open wide open doors, they are also not able to win.
Give it to you.
That overweight Bill Nye from the underworld chasing you around the fucking insane music in the background is fucking scary. But even he was not without Jason Voorhees' namely from walking, with which he always outstripped the victim escaping from him. This is exactly the same wall knocking scene as in Sevens. Why keep a pistol part in the safe under a lock and key? Oh, by the way, this pumped up Bill Nye, despite the fact that he has some kind of intelligence, is still not able to open some doors. I don't know how, but they managed to make this puzzle even worse than in Bioshock. Also, it would seem more worse. Well, we were able to. To be honest, I didn't even understand how to solve it, it's so crooked ass. At the decisive moment where the hero in the verge of death, the villain pulls with his murder so that he could be saved at the very last moment. Yes, and that Ada has been sitting in this van all this time and waiting for someone to appear who can be shut down on it. She didn't know that Leon would come out here or that Victor would chase after him. And how did she get the keys to that van? Or were they left in the ignition to... Is there anyone here who doesn't give a shit about the transport? At this distance from the explosions, Ada should have staggered a little.
What about you? Trying to save the world?
I told Lieutenant Brenna I'd bring help.
For whom? Is there no one else alive in the area? Who are you going to help?
There are pharmaceutical companies secretly making bioweapons. They have a virus. It turns people into indestructible monsters.
And knowing this information, the company that sent Ada to this place did not think that a single woman could not cope with the crowd of invulnerable monsters. By the way, those monsters are quite vulnerable if you beat them a little. And how did Ada end up here, and why then did I need to climb into the water and run away from that monster if I could go on top?
And Annette is who makes the viruses. Scary as that alligator was, Annette is far more dangerous.
Something will not be noticeable on it.
Forget about me. Just go. Stop her before she gets away.
You were shot in the shoulder and now you can't walk?
I'm right outside the facility, in pursuit of Annette.
How does Ada even make sense of this unintelligible buzz from walkie-talkie? The most suitable outfit for such an operation. I wouldn't even surprised if she's wearing heels too. Fuck, she really is in heels. How can mechanical garbage that is not connected to a computer at all remotely hacked with the help of any device being in the 90th year? Yes, and if this thing in addition of hacking was also supposed to serve as a flashlight, that you did the job so-so, because with it I see much worse than without it. So much worse that sometimes I have to turn it out to see where I'm going.
And you won't die alone.
So if you want to kill her, why set a timer for a whole minute, giving her opportunity to escape? And why doesn't the fire is already burning her hell? Saved at the very last moment cliché, and in my case right at the last second. It turned out cinematic. And immediately after that she was saved again at the very last moment. His hand held quickly. Yes, and why he lay down to sleep I even did not understand. When we put a grenade in a monster's mouth, its explosion right in front of our nose does not affect us at all.
I'm coming, Ada.
Minutes in an hour or so while I solved this fucking chess puzzle. More precisely, not a fucking riddle itself, but the search of its figures. One of which I could not find stupidly because I did not see the passage to it in the dark. And all this time Ada will be lying there with an open wound in infectious shit. For some reason this operative decided to turn out the recording a couple of seconds before his death. And why hadn't he recorded anything before? Or did he run out of tape of the cassette and put a new one before his day? Leon gets his fucking cough at the most fucking inappropriate moments.
Jesus Christ!
Why did the floor catch fire after breaking through the ceiling?
How's the shoulder?
Worse than it looks.
What a pair. Both got one foot in the grave.
Shot through the shoulder, this is of course 1 foot in the grave. It's a mortal wound, did you know?
This may be a one-way ride, so be prepared, Leon.
You will not return back, but the funicular, judging by the fact that later Claire will arrive on it, will return as soon as you leave it. Instead of running around the complex to create a spray poison that will kill the plants and put this dude with a pass on the ground, I could just shoot his arm so that he falls and there you have it. What difference does it make how much the suitable in the jar? No matter how much is there, is still the poison, which in any case can kill plants. I'm picking on this because I'm sick of twisting these flags and trying to get the right amount of liquid. So by what miracle did you find yourself here? Did you ride on the roof the funicular with us or jumped after us into the abyss?
It's Umbrella's fault, this whole mess.
Your umbrella too. You're telling me you weren't involved in this?
Yes. But we never meant for this to happen.
You created a virus that turns a person into a monster, but you never waited this virus to turn people into monsters.
Then tell me everything. Right from the start.
It is the place that about to self-destruct, and take your time, I have plenty of time. She will survive after that. There, even the crunch of the bones was heard. How the fuck did she survive?
You trust that bitch?
What's that supposed to mean?
She's not FBI. She's a mercenary.
How do you know this?
Let me verify the G sample and we get the hell out of here.
Before we do that, I ran into Annette. She claims you're not FBI.
Yes, the ceiling around you is already collapsing. Can you talk about this then the exit?
Hand over the sample, Leon. I don't want to hurt you.
And you shoot me. But I don't think you can.
Well, of course she can't if she shoots you. You will fall into abyss along with the virus.
Take care of yourself, Leon.
No!
Since Ada does not have her cards hooked at the moment, it means that she died after that, because how it possible to survive after this and the plot of the first and sixth part can be safely deleted from the canon. Yes, and what is at all sad music for? We all know perfectly that she will appear in the first and sixth parts, why be sad? The detonation will occur isn't much in 9 minutes, and for some reason the laboratory is already quietly falling apart and exploding. Isn't this timer designed to ensure that all employers have time to kick out of the complex? What's the point of breaking everything at once? This boss looked like a normal running around, with occasional shots by the boss which he charged his punch. Oh, Ada survived, why I'm not surprised. And how did she know that he was fighting a tyrant and he needed a rocket launcher right now to finish him off? And how will she able to escape from this complex if the elevator will not rise back, judging by the destruction and there is no way out?
Can't believe I actually miss her.
Well, of course you will, you're a small sperm toxic person.
Leon?
Hey.
And we will get to the real ending only if complete the same game a second time according to the scenario B, even if I do not want to do this. Don't get me wrong, this game is awesome, but just Claire's scenario B isn't practically the same game with the right differences. Well, since we started talking about this, let's see what was wrong in Claire campaign B. It was not in vain that I went through it no matter how.
Leon, I'm sure you beat me here.
You go to the side the same amount of time, how could you overtake you? So wait, we are at the moment of the helicopter explosions? Where have you been a few hours ago? Why didn't they show us this? Too lazy to draw the location of the city?
I'm guessing you don't have a key in one of those fancy pockets?
You just picked up the wire cutters, can you try to use them? Really, why would a 2018 game need reflection?
Turns a museum into a police station.
You don't need to voice my nitpicks here for me, please. Well, he does not burn from the fire, but why does nothing happen to his clothes? I want to see a naked tyrant, don't deprive me of this opportunity, faggots.
Won't budge.
Yes, you can easily crawl into this hole yourself, why move the locker?
I'm sorry, I can't understand you.
You need help.
Why?
He's right behind you.
Of course, I'm not saying that all children are stupid, but in this situation it would be better to say something like a hefty monster is behind you, run the fuck out of there. In that case, Claire would understand what you want to tell her. Yes, and Sherry saw this monster even before he appeared in the room. Yes, and this monster is so light or Claire is so deaf that he managed to sneak right up to her back, and she only knew this when Sherry jabbed her finger at him.
I just need you to lower that ladder for me.
You can literally jump up with your hands up and reach this ladder without any problems.
And you're sure this is the way?
This is how my mom took me last time.
Is the only entrance to the secret lab is a police station parking lot?
On the ground. Now.
To be honest, I did not understand the reason for his behavior, if only because of her medallion, which opens the chamber with the virus. Then why did he take the girl with him, and did not just rip off this key from her? And who is he for her, and how does he know her, if her parents are underground in the laboratory? Which means that she is hardly often the police station. I'm confused at all. And instead of fucking him and just pretending she was tying her hands, she actually tied him. Well, Claire somehow managed to cut his rope with a piece of glass lying on the side. In Leon's campaign, this glass has already been broken, which means that this battle has already taken place. But I did not see the corpse of this monster anywhere. From this, most likely Claire's head should have caught fire, as it seems to me. Since this police chief called as soon as Claire solved this degenerative puzzle, then all the time it was running around looking for those transistors, he was staring at the monitor waiting for us to come here. And what is this strange location of the camera in some random room to which his monitor is set and which he has a direct telephone connection?
Good to see you again, Claire. We've got unfinished business.
Where's that?
In the neighborhood. You'll find it.
Nearby, you won't miss it, is a bad coordinates of a place for a person who first came to the city and doesn't know where everything is in.
Stupid kid. If you just hadn't dropped that fucking thing, I could let you go.
So why didn't you immediately take it from her? And how do you even know about this medallion, information about which in theory should be classified, so that no one can steal it and steal the virus? And who even thought of hanging the key to mega dangerous virus around the neck of a little girl, who can easily lose it in any moment and any place? Which is exactly what she did. Fucking tape. This is the fucking tape. Take it by the tear. Why do you need scissors for this? Maybe I don't know something. Maybe in Japan they produce some kind of mega powerful tape that cannot be torn apart from the hands. Or the Japanese just have a little weak hands that can do that. I don't understand why she just can't tear off that fucking duct tape. How convenient for Sherry that absolutely all the doors in the orphanage are locked with the same key. How is that the sheriff managed to close the door with a chain on the other side to get inside?
I'm coming in, Sherry!
The Shining reference? Well, let it be. And how did this weirdo manage to get out the underground laboratory and get to the shelter at this particular time in order to save Sherry in the very last moment? Those acid splashes have now hit Claire as well. Where did the chain go from the door?
Your fault!
What?
Took too long!
Well, maybe because you closed the gate and made me run around the police station looking for transistor to get the keycard. Let it be a reference to an alien. I'm not against it. The tyrant will somehow be able to heal this minor wound and continue to pursue Leon in the first campaign.
Are you alright? Can you hear me? Claire? Claire, you have to get up. He's going to get us.
He is on the same elevator that you went down. If he still hasn't come for you, then he is unlikely to do it. Why did Annette put her daughter in a garbage pit?
Sherry's been implanted. She can't be saved.
Are you fucking kidding me?
You don't give a damn about your daughter's life so much that knowing about the existence of an antidote, you say that it's no longer possible to save her. And for that matter, she doesn't give a shit about her husband's life either, because instead of running and shooting at him, she could just inject with him the antidote. And all the doors through which we now need to go through magically opens, so that we did not have to draw an animation of opening doors with a child in our arms. Where, for what and why does Sherry have the bracelet on her hand? With Lara Croft cosplay, Claire could do better than Lara herself. This is not a fucking 1998 email interface. And of course, as always, the classical resident boss in the form of some kind of indefinite biological goo with a pronounced place where you need to shoot in order to defeat him.
We're gonna lose that car!
Or maybe you will unlock the car after Claire leaves it. Nothing, you almost left without her, didn't you?
We're just... Well, we actually just met last night.
Yeah. That would have been one hell of a first date, though.
What the fuck is the date? During the whole game you saw each other for a couple of times and almost always walked parallel to each other.
Hey, you guys can adopt me.
Adopt you?
We can get a puppy.
She quickly forgot about the death of her parents. And what scenes did you find in this game? Be sure to write the comments and suggest the games that you want to see here in the future.